Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. Today we're going to do some storm damage cleanup, some old storm damage cleanup. But instead of just cleaning up, we're going to try to do some function stacking. I like that element of permaculture, and we're going to see if we can take some of this dried treetop of hickory, a little bit of locust over here, put it in our biochar kiln to make some biochar, mid-size stuff to get chipped, and then the real big heavy diameter stuff we'll stack up as firewood. So come along. So over the winter, this massive shagbark hickory took a hit from a storm. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, that limb broke off. And that's what's laying right here. And then the top of it broke sideways, or actually took another limb out, took another tree out, I believe. And so we've got all of this treetop here laying down. We got some of this stuff laying here. It's just an absolute mess. And what's really a drag is it landed on some of my leftover material I had from building the chicken church. So buried in there is what used to be good ridge cap, metal roof ridge cap. I think it's beat all to pieces along with some of the other trim pieces. There's some T-posts in there, some other things. So we need to get that out of the way. And of course, letting this lie fallow for half a year now, the autumn olive has sprung up in full force. That's what we have here. And then just have some other small saplings around. So I'm going to try to get all the thin stuff, small stuff, cleared out here. We're going to leave this hickory and this mockernut hickory. We're going to leave this maple. I'm probably going to leave that locust behind there. We'll leave all that stuff intact. We'll get all this smaller stuff out of the way. So I've got the wood chipper set up here so we can just chip directly into the chicken church chicken run. I don't need to trailer transport wood chips when I do it this way, which is nice. That saves some time and effort. But we can just sling them right in there. Hopefully it'll spook the chickens big time, but hopefully it won't make them fly the coop, of course. But we'll launch those into there, and that's going to be perfect because I love mixing some green and dry in that. The green gives them something to pick through, and the dry, of course, helps absorb their manure. But at the same time, we're trying to build soil, so that's where the little biochar kiln will come in handy. This is little Moki. We've had this on the channel before, and it's their smallest one. The scale that we're doing stuff here, it'd be nice to have that about 4 times the size. But I like the way it works. It really allows me to control the fire. Allows for a quick quench. I've got 5 gallons of water in the back of the side-by-side, so we'll use that to quench. So I'm going to get a fire going first, and then we'll get the wood chipper started up. So we'll get the fire started up and the wood chipper going here, so hopefully we can kind of function stack and multitask and all those fun words. And what I'll do is, once I get a fire ready to quench, because it's obviously not going to come, one fire is not going to take all of this stuff that we want to burn up. Once I get a fire to the size it will quench, we'll quench it. Just lift up the Moki. That's what I like about it being bottomless. Just lift it up, move it over a foot or two, start another fire. So, that wet spot won't come into an issue with the next fire. It'll just kind of move around. And that's kind of why I picked this spot where there's some thicker, lusher green grass that I just knocked down with a weed eater, surrounded by a ring of bare dirt. So what we're looking for here, of course, is everything to go to charcoal. So we need a good burn down, and may even add more to it. I want to try to maximize this and just see how much we can get. I want to take this time real quick to give a shout out to this video sponsor, and that's EBL. So EBL offers some great rechargeable battery options, and they sent me this 12+2 bay docking station. I thought was pretty cool. It can take not only AA and AAA, up to 12 of those. But because of the way the docking bay is configured, you can put all the different types of batteries in, C's, D's, all the weird ones. And the spring-loaded docking bay just allows you to put them in. You can also even put 2 9-volt batteries inverted. That's the +2 side of it. And the neat thing about it, you can charge up to 14 batteries at once. And it has this LCD screen that intelligently indicates the battery status. So it'll tell you how much charge is there, but also tell you if there's an error with that battery. As you've seen with the channel, we always have, we try to incorporate technology into our homesteading whenever it makes sense. So we have things that require AA, AAA, and some of those other batteries. They don't have their own rechargeable batteries in place. So this product is going to help us keep from being in those situations where we're like, oh, we need a AAA battery. Oh, we've used up all of them. We need to go to the store. So it's nice to be able to have those charged up, ready to go. And I like the fact it has this MCU controller that trickle charges, so it regulates the amount of voltage. When it hits full charge, then of course it's not going to overheat or have any issues there. But I'm going to provide a link below in the video description. You can check that out and see if it's something that would work well for you all. All right, let's get back to our fire. Okay, I think it's time to quench this second run. And you guys can see my lovely bride came to help me this evening. It's nice to have Kelly on the scene. Get out of the steam. Save a little bit here just in case some stuff flares up. So we've still been this is probably the biggest load that I've ever done in the Moki. Yep, but still warm in some spots. But it's kind of finding that happy medium of letting some of the stuff burn down to ash versus being able to fill it up so you get a full container's burn. There's still some heat coming off that. We'll have to put some more water on it here in a second. Let me show you where I am on the cleanup over here because we run into a little snafu. Well, I got the first Widowmaker down. It was the one that was going this way. That's a piece of it right here. And got most of the small brush cleaned up. All these really small things we'll use for another run in the Biochar kiln. But I still have this huge Widowmaker here that's stuck. And I'm going to bring the side-by-side in and the winch and winch it this way so it doesn't fall and hit my chicken fence. The snafu or the snag that I've run into is my chainsaw's dead. I think I did what I usually don't like to do, but did it anyway because I'm lazy to go get gas. But I had my big 5-gallon can that we use for the lawnmower gas all season. It was down to about that much. Sits outside, hot and cold, condensation, all that type of stuff. So I poured that into my small 1-gallon premix. And I think I got a lot of water in it, so it smells a little watery. So I'm going to have to toss that out. Not only am I out of gasoline on the entire farm, which is ridiculous, but I'm also out of the steel premix, so I got to go get some more. Yeah, totally missed that. So I can't, my little DeWalt electric is cutting up the small stuff, but I can't take on this big stuff for firewood yet. So I think we'll get this on the ground, get it safe, so it won't bonk us on the head later. And I got most of my metal out of the way. There's one piece that this huge Widowmaker is laying on, so I can't get it out yet. But I got most of that cleaned up and moved over. Let me show you how much chips we got. So since I had the chute pointing way out, you can see there's chips all the way down there. It kind of spreads out and looks like it's less than it is, but where that black Australorp's walking right now, that's about 10 inches deep because there's actually a huge limb, hickory limb she's walking on right now. And you can see where these two, what are those? I don't even know what those are. Lavenders, that's right, Kelly's lavender chickens. They're digging behind a little abutment here. So you can see there's some wood chips piled up there. So it's a really good amount of wood chips. It's so dry right now, it's not like we're having an odor issue, but I just like having those chips in there. We chipped up a little bit of green, some beech, and some multiflora, so they're going through and picking out all the green stuff and enjoying that. All right, I think I'm going to put this last little bit of water. I've been using 5 gallons per batch. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this first. And let's quench just to make sure. Yeah, I don't see anything. I think we're good. Watch it, white dog. Don't want to change your color. Well, look, the only mud on the farm. I'm standing in it. There we go. What do you think, y'all? One more burn? I say we do one more. Yeah, it's twice he's kicked that chainsaw with his feet. All right, so I had a morbid curiosity. I'm going to see if I can make it just here on the north side of the previous spot where we quenched, so the ground is wet. But as dry as it's been, everything is getting soaked up so fast. So I think our scrap cardboard won't get saturated here before we get flame in her. In fact, let's put a little bit of small stuff underneath it to get it off the ground. This is the first evening, first day actually, we've had, and probably, what would you say, Kel? A month that we've had humidity this low?
It seems like years.
Yeah, the humidity's, I don't know if you can hear, she said it seems like years. The humidity's below 50% right now. And we're obviously in the shade, and we're on the point here behind the house. So that gives us the elevation to be able to get a breeze. And man, it's been pleasant. Big difference from just a couple days ago. So we're really enjoying this evening out. It's like Saturday night date night, isn't it? All right. Goofball dog. Okay, time for quench number 3 here. May have let this one go a little too far. Stainless steel gets hot. That's what I'd like to see. A soup. I set it back down in that mud. That helped create a little bit of a mud seal underneath. So that gives me an actual little bowl here. That guarantees a good quench. Now what would be ideal is a way to slide a piece of plate steel underneath this, once the water's drained out of course, and then be able to pick the whole thing up to set it in a wheelbarrow instead of having to shovel. Drink deeply. A little bit of steaminess right there. So if you're wondering, Troy, why go through all this trouble with small stainless steel cone when you have all this wood? Could you not just make a big pile and burn it and quench it that way too? Well, yeah, you could. But to me, the very nature of using something like this gives us more of a control and actually reduces quite a bit of waste or smoke, at least in that point, because I like the clean burn that it has. Bigger size obviously would make sense for us at the scale that we do things. And if you're not familiar with biochar, or you've not, you're kind of new to the channel, I'll link to a video. This obviously isn't biochar right now. This is just charcoal. It becomes biochar in the next step, which I'm going to show you here in a second. Back go. Don't dump it. There is no try, only do. Or do not. Do not dump it. So this magically goes from charcoal to biochar when we cross this little threshold here with our ladies. There, ladies. We come over here to where they like to poop up things all the time. And then we just leave it. And so as they obviously mix their nitrogen into it from the manure and what's laying here already, that's what supercharges charcoal into biochar. And of course, the way we've got this set up, as it matriculates on down to the garden, then by the time it gets down there, it should be primo. Well, I'm satisfied with where we ended up. Didn't get as far as I'd like, but I think it's going to work. We didn't get a chance to stack any firewood, but we really stacked a lot of function, eh? Yeah, so cleaning up this mess, getting a Widowmaker out of the way, lots of wood chips for the chickens, and lots of biochar, lots of charcoal to put in the chicken run to turn into great biochar. Love being able to kind of cover things at once. Now, there was a method to my madness in this too. It's like, Troy, why this project now? Why is it so important? Well, actually, where you guys are standing is where I'll be bringing the Coupe de Ville. The Coupe de Ville's in the backyard right now, training about 20 some new egg-laying birds. They got to get used to because they were in the brooder, they got to get used to the Coupe de Ville. And I'll bring it up here in this grassy spot. When I set the electric poultry netting up, then it's not very easy for me to get my tractor back in here. So it's kind of, I wanted to get this cleaned up before I blocked it off with the Coupe de Ville. So there's some logic into when I work on specific things and when I don't. But God forbid we admit that this farm actually runs logically. So, but that at least gets that out of the way. Like I said, gets it safe. And I can come up here with a chainsaw and cut that up and side by side pull stuff out. And I'll have to get the tractor in here and chip any more of that. Well, I pray everyone have a great week. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.